Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar on how to integrate cloud telephony into your smarter working strategy. Thank you all for joining us. And first of all, I am going to just take you through the agenda for today. So first of all, I'll just do some introductions, and then I'll talk about why we're here, what we'll be covering, and then we will go into a pre-recorded Q&A with Scott Summerville from Embed, and followed by that, which will take probably around about 15 or 20 minutes, we will have a live audience Q&A session. So please, if you have any questions, any burning questions, please pop those in. There's a section on your panel which says questions, so you can drop those in there, or you can raise your hand. So I will be keeping an eye on that. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Louise Burke. I look after marketing at Adapto, and I will be hosting today's session. And as mentioned, our panelist is Scott Summerville, and he is Head of Public Sector at Embed, who are a cloud telephony specialist and a partner of Adapto. So, first of all, let me tell you a little bit about Adapto in case you don't know about us. So we specialise in consulting, design, implementation and support services for your IT infrastructure. And we're focused on providing innovative, flexible and reliable solutions to your problems. And we do that taking a project-based approach within which we follow a structured delivery framework to ensure the successful implementation of really quality solutions and services. And we're very focused on consistently delivering solutions that are well designed, built in the right way and supported effectively, and we really pride ourselves on that. And we are public sector experts, and our clients include the likes of Waverley Borough Council, Sevenoaks District Council, and outside of that public sector remit, we work with the likes of the British Red Cross and the Architects Review Board. So, on to today's webinar. Let me just tell you exactly what we're going to be focusing on with Scott. So as I say, we're going to have a Q&A session, and we're going to first start by sharing an overview of the 4 pillars of smarter working, and then we'll move on to talk about how cloud telephony can help public sector organisations discover the full potential of the Smarter Working Initiative, reshape the future of public services, achieve greater cost savings, collaborate better, improve efficiencies, and how it will impact working patterns and flexible working practices. And also, finally, the pivotal role it will play in the Council Office of the Future. So please sit back and enjoy. And as I said, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get them ready for the end of the session. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this Q&A session with Scott Summerville, Head of Public Sector at Embed. Welcome, Scott.
Hi, Louise. How are you doing?
Yes, great. Thanks so much for joining us. So, as I said, Scott is going to join us, and we're going to talk about integrating cloud telephony into your smarter working strategy. And we've got some questions here that I'm going to ask Scott, and he's going to very kindly respond and tell us his thoughts. So, Scott, are you ready for me to go?
Yes, yeah, let's crack on.
Great, okay, so let's start by taking a look at the Smarter Working Initiative. What exactly does that mean in practice?
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, to be honest with you, Louise. I think if we take a little step back, so smarter working as a sort of concept has been around since 2013, so quite a long time, but over more recent time, it's really evolved quite considerably, more so as technology has developed and best practices have now become normal. Smarter working is an all-encompassing commitment to creating the best possible working environments, and that's being aided with the help of technology. Smarter working for me happens when technology, workplace culture are all aligned to meet the staff needs. So there's four elements of smarter working, which they call the four pillars of smarter working. So these pillars are one, they are what they call workplace and workspace. Two, people, culture, and leadership. Three, technology, and four, processes. So smarter working happens when an organisation focuses on these four pillars and take all of these pillars into consideration. They're able to create new dynamics of work across their entire environment. And it's about changing the way local government thinks and acts about work and organisation, people, and its whole working environment.
Great. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. So moving on to cloud telephony and councils in particular, how can cloud telephony help councils discover their full potential with initiatives such as the Smarter Working Initiative, and how can that reshape the future of public services?
Yeah. Okay. So smart working and digital transformation as well are now really, I believe, really well embedded into local government's approach to improving smart public services. There's a number of initiatives. There's the Smart Working Initiative, there's the Local Digital Declaration, and these initiatives are driving local government's ambitions to utilise the full potential of digital tools, such as cloud telephony, to reshape public services. I believe cloud telephony is recognised across the public sector, and particularly local government, as a tool that delivers smarter working practices. It's enabling better internal communications, more flexible working environments. It's driving greater collaboration and improving productivity through unified communications. And this is having a lasting impact on working patterns within local government, and it's leading to improvements when all these organisations are delivering public services. For example, staff are gaining increased sense of purpose. They're getting more fulfilled within their job roles as they're being able to have a more agile working environment, and that then means they're becoming more productive. And this really leads to then giving a better level of customer service. It leads to these organisations understanding their customers better and responding more quickly. I really see cloud telephony as being the key to all of this, and more so when you embed it into sort of many line of business applications, such as CRMs, for example. What we're seeing with a lot of our customers is when they're bringing cloud telephony into CRMs, they're improving the customer service. For example, if you take Dynamics, for example, when we integrate our cloud telephony to Dynamics, what happens is when a call comes into a local council, the system recognises that telephone number and it brings up information about the user to that particular person that's answered that call, that member of staff, where whichever that member of staff is. So that member of staff has information about the person calling them to hand straight away. It might tell them that they potentially have a rent arrears. It may tell them that they have refuse collection on a particular day, but whatever it tells them, the member of staff is empowered to deliver a better level of customer service to that person, because they can answer the phone by saying, "Hello, Mr. Summenthal, thank you for calling. I see you're calling because your rents are in a little bit of arrears, and how can we help you with this and resolve that for you?" So cloud telephony is really at the core of all this, really at the core of delivering a better customer experience.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds really interesting. And so, what about in terms of collaboration and efficiency? How can cloud telephony help public sector organisations, improve in those areas?
Yeah, there's lots of ways, really. I mean, so what cloud telephony is able to do is provide a real agile working environment, and they do. We have our soft phones. web browsers, there's lots of apps that we use to deliver a sort of remote working environment, and it gives employees more access and control over when they're going to carry out their duties, where they're going to carry out their duties, and how they're going to carry out their duties. So that it gives them more power, it gives them more flexibility to do their job role. And what we're seeing, especially across local government, whilst local borough councils have been delivering shared job roles and flexible job roles, this is now being encompassed across the whole local government environment. And cloud telephony is enabling that smarter working approach. So it's delivering these flexible and agile working environments, enabling collaboration, and across the dispersed team. So if you take pre-COVID, everybody was working in an office somewhere in the centre of a town, and then COVID come along, and now we've got disparate teams working across the country, all over the place. This technology has enabled that, and this technology is helping organisations to continue to work in that environment. As I mentioned, when you embed cloud telephony into line of business applications like Dynamics, communications can then be seamlessly delivered through from internally. The people can deliver a better level of customer service. So this is really becoming at the core of a lot of the way that local government is working. We also integrate our technology and our cloud telephony into Microsoft Teams as well. So again, a lot of organisations are adapting Microsoft Teams. What we're able to do is deliver the telephony features from our platform seamlessly into Microsoft Teams, which is then adding value to into these local government organisations, because it's bringing intelligent telephony features to wherever that person's located. So again, they could be located within an office in the town centre, or they could be working from home, but they've got access to better collaboration tools, and they're able to do their job wherever they're located more efficiently. So I think cloud telephony is, as I say, at the core of all of that.
Yeah, and that's going to be more important than ever, really, isn't it, moving forward, particularly the current environment and what we're expecting. So, I mean, what about kind of the positive impact on working patterns and flexible working practices? You probably touched upon that a little bit in that question, but they're kind of those practices that have long been a feature of local government roles. What kind of what positive impact can it have on those?
Yeah, so I think what we're seeing is the fact that the 9-to-5 based culture is being eroded, because what's happening now is all organisations across the public sector are delivering flexible working practices, and employees have the opportunity to work remotely and have a better work-life balance as well. So it's great that local government deliver these job sharing and shift work environments already, but now what they're able to do is increase that environment to a more dynamic workforce. So, for example, where they haven't been able to attract some staff members or some workforce, has been with parents, carers, and people within mental health, potentially with mental health issues. And cloud telephony and smarter working is now attracting that type of person. A parent like you and I, my wife works in local government. So historically, with our children, she wouldn't be able to take some job roles because they wouldn't fit around our children, and they wouldn't fit around the timescales that she was available. But now my wife can work remotely and do elements of her job outside of that 9-to-5 timescales. She's available to deliver her skills to a local government, and it doesn't really matter when she does her job. She can do or where she does her job, she can do it working from home, and we've seen that with the pandemic more so. So I think local government can expand the flexible working, the job sharing environments. They can attract a more diverse range of people into their organisation. They can deliver a better working life balance to their staff. And also, you've got to take into account millennials as well. So what we have seen, or what I've read quite a lot around the attitude of some of the millennials, is that they value development and a better working life balance as opposed to reward. So, for example, or financial reward. So, for example, they will be attracted to a job where they've got the flexibility to work, the work-life balance, as opposed to a job which is just giving them lots of money. And again, so by delivering the smarter working environment, local government can attract more of these millennials that have got that sort of mentality and that want to enjoy a work-life balance. So local authorities are really empowered now to be able to recruit the right people for the right roles. They're able to, where they've got staffing shortfalls, they're able to close that gap on those staffing shortfalls because they can recruit people, a wider audience, and really help deliver a great work-life balance to their staff. So, and that's what people want now, especially, we've all worked through this pandemic. People have been working from home now for the best part of a year. So, I think people, whilst we don't like to be forced to work from home, it's nice to have that sort of option and that choice.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, what you say there, is that whole, actually attracting people in, being an attractive employer, but also, actually being attracted to the candidates, and sort of it's a two-way street, isn't it? And I think that's actually really, really important. And as you say, we've all got rather used to this flexible way of working, and this only enhances it, really. So my final question for you is, so what about the part that Cloud Telephony can play in the Council Office of the future? What changes might we expect?
Well, yeah, I think there's going to be a huge change. I mean, smarter working has not only had far-reaching effects on working patterns and the communications between organisations, but it's also had a huge impact on local government authorities as they look to manage and plan their future estates. And we recognise that local government are under massive financial constraints. Even prior to the pandemic, budgets were really, really tight, and now the pandemic has heightened that for them. So what we're seeing is that a lot of local government organisations are looking to rationalise their estates and reduce their overheads. Why have a big office in the middle of a town centre that you need to keep heating, you need to keep lights, you've got big car parking spaces, when your staff can work from home or work from a coffee shop, or have a flexible working environment. So I think we're seeing organisations looking to rationalise their estate. The government, central government recognised this as well. They created what's called the One Public Estate Programme, and this is quite interesting, really, because that programme helps councils integrate their services into fewer workplaces, and also helping them focus their teams to work more effectively and make it easier for public to access the services they need. So I'd certainly recommend any local government organisation to look at this One Public Estate Programme. In 1990 to 1920, in that financial year, there was I don't know the exact number. I think it's about £165 million were processed through the One Public Estate project. And that was through the sale of council assets, and the release of land has enabled 25,000 new homes to be built as well. So this is really something that a lot of organisations, if they're not already engaged with, should really engage with. There's no need for them to have these large estates. This technology enables these local government and borough councils to reduce their estates, enable a working environment that is flexible for their staff. And the pandemic has highlighted that, and what I foresee the future is where, you know, almost where we are today to a certain extent. I think what councils have done is put, you know, sticky plaster over their infrastructures over the past year and able to survive. And what they can do now, the technology is here. It can help them deliver a true hybrid working environment. So what that means is, it means that they can give the staff the ability to work from home and enjoy that, you know, that working from home environment, but also give them an office to come into, because I think people do need that as well. We all need a little bit of social interaction. I think if anything that the pandemic has highlighted is that people need people. We've all gone a bit stir crazy, and now we're at a stage where we want to mould our working life balance. We want to have that ability to work from home. We want to have that ability to go into an office. And I think, you know, local councils need to embrace that. I think that hybrid working environment is the way forward. It means that local government can reduce their estate, but still keep an office environment, but also enable their staff to work from home, enable their staff to have that great work-life balance, but still be productive, still be efficient, still communicate well internally, still communicate and give a great level of customer service, and at the same time save costs on heating, save costs on lighting, give some of their car parking space for some new buildings that are desperately needed in all the towns and centres across the UK, really, and that is all available to them. The technology's there. The local government central government are absolutely, you know, focused on smarter working. There's a number of policies to deliver smarter working, and you know, the One Public Estate programme can support a local government to really drive that estate rationalised programme becoming more efficient.
Yeah, it's exciting times, isn't it? Well, I think that was really interesting, and I really enjoyed hearing your thoughts, and I'd just like to say thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope that everyone else has enjoyed that watching. But thank you very much, Scott.
Thanks, Louise. It's great to see you. Thanks for your time. Take care.
Thank you. Right, everybody, back to me again. I hope that you found that Q&A interesting, and I thought that hopefully that we raised some really good points there, and I thought Scott really put those across really well. So, as promised, we are now going to go into a live Q&A session with the audience. So if anyone has any questions that they would like to put to Scott, because I have Scott now on the line. You're there, aren't you, Scott?
I am indeed. Hi, Louise. Nice to see you again.
So if you want to, anyone wants to, they can either raise their hand, or they can put the questions in the kind of question section on the control panel there. As all good people should be, is prepared, and I have a few here ready to ask you, Scott. So first of all, the first one is, what kinds of cost savings can be achieved from deploying a cloud telephony solution?
Hey, Louise, great question. Following up another 5 or 6 questions you asked me yesterday. So there are so many cost savings. I think, you know, a lot of organisations, a lot of local government organisations have a large PBX for old infrastructure in the corner somewhere in their buildings, which they're paying electric for, and they're paying upgrades for, and they're paying support costs for, and maintenance, and so all of those costs go away. Infrastructure costs go away. You don't need to pay ISDN costs. You don't need to pay SIP trunk costs, because we just come across the internet. You can save a lot of money on mobile phones costs as well by using, you know, the apps that we deliver on our smartphones, or our app onto a smartphone. Yep. So again, I mean, we've been working with a lot of GPs recently, and we save one GP £8,000 a month just by getting them to use the mobile apps and the WebRTC apps that we deliver. You can save money in audio and teleconferencing costs. There's our technology comes with teleconferencing and audio conferencing facilities built in. So, you know, what we do know is a lot of organizations are paying money on a monthly basis or an annual basis for that. You know, infrastructure costs, electricity, heating. You know, we talked about estate rationalization, didn't we? And I mentioned that you know, a lot of organizations are looking to reduce their estates to save those overheads, and that's huge savings. But there is also, you know, you also be becoming more productive as well, and there are sort of reports to say that just by being 20-30 minutes productive a day as an individual, that lends itself to cost savings as well. So, and traveling as well. I mean, we're all doing a lot less traveling during the pandemic, and long may that continue. You know, again, an organization can save a huge amount of traveling costs, not just their staff traveling in and out of an office, but having to travel from one office to another to go to a meeting, when you can do it as we're doing now over a video conference or, you know, a telephony call. So yeah, there's huge amounts of cost savings, and I can help any organization deliver a return on investment equation quite simply.
Yeah, there's that kind of that capex opex is really actually a really big point, isn't it, to make? So yeah. So what about I guess like a bit more of a housekeeping type question, but is there a minimum number of users that you can have for a cloud telephony solution, or recommended?
No, this is the beauty of the telephony of the platform. You pay per user per month, so you can have 1 or 2 users on the platform, or you can have tens of thousands of users on the platform, and our customers reflect that. You know, we've got some beautiful organizations we work with, some charities, you know, some small parish councils, for example, that have just got 2 or 3 users. Our largest customer, an organization called London Borough of Hackney, has nearly 5,500 users, I think. So, you know, we've got a great range of organizations, from 1 or 2 users up to 1,000 users. And as you're just paying per user per month, if one month you have 5 users on the platform, you're paying for those 5 users. If the next month you have 20 users on the platform because you've increased your staff intake, then you pay for those 20 users. And then if the following month you go back down to 10, for example, you just pay for those 10 users. So you're only paying for the amount of people that you're using the platform for.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility, isn't there?
There is.
So
Yeah,
maybe I might have trumped one of your questions here. So what? So obviously you just said about London Borough of Hackney, but what other councils? Do you have any other councils that you're working with currently for cloud telephony deployments?
Yeah, we work with a lot of councils, a lot of housing associations, and they range from, as I say, small parish councils to large councils like London Borough of Hackney, Carlisle City Council is one of our customers, Dorchester Town Council, South Hams District Council. So there's quite a few. We've got Gerrards Cross Parish Council. So we've got some little ones and we've got some big ones, which is, you know, quite a nice range, if you like. The public sector as a whole represents just under about 40% of our overall business within Enfon UK. So it's a really nice representation. It's not just about, you know, local government is a huge customer of ours, but we've got charities, primary schools, secondary schools, multi-academy trusts. We've got some central government organisations. The Office Road and Rail are one of our customers. There's a couple of customers that I can't talk about through secrecy, that are central government organisations. Yeah, we're very blessed. We've got some police forces. We do a great job with healthcare. So I mentioned GPs, CCGs, for example, as well. So it is a nice range of customers we have.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and I just thought, I guess my last question was around, you know, like an example of a recent deployment in a public sector organisation. So perhaps maybe what their challenge was.
Yes, of course. So my favourite, well, I've got two favourite deployments because I was at the forefront of delivering them. So I'll talk about those. So in 2019, so just about 2 years ago, we won L&Q, which is a housing association based in the east of London. They've got approximately 3,500 users on our platform. They've integrated their platform with our Teams integration, and they've got a big, what I would call a big contact center deployment as well. So they've got about 245 agents all working from home as we speak, taking calls into the organization. And again, a lot of their rationale for using MFON was because they wanted to reduce their estate, which was another reason why London Borough of Hackney came with us. And in all fairness, London Borough of Hackney have been a customer of ours since 2016. So, you know, very, very much so at the forefront of these organizations. And they wanted to rationalize their estate as well. Another great deployment which we've done is with the Motor Neurone Disease Association. So again, a bit smaller. They've got about 190 users on the platform now, but they weren't able to, they needed to deliver a cost-effective sort of contact center into the organization for their fundraising team. They also had a lot of people working out in the field that they weren't communicating into the head office very easily. So we managed to sort of help London Motor Neurone Disease with that solution. We've done lots of schools and you know, primary schools, secondary schools, and multi-academy trusts over the last year or so. Some really nice deployments for schools and multi-academy trusts. Multi-academy trusts love us because they've got, where they've grown, and they've got all these different schools as part of their organization. All of these different schools have got different telephone systems, and what we've been able to do is migrate all of those telephone systems onto our platform, so it's just one seamless infrastructure across, you know, what can be 20 or 30 schools for some multi-academy trusts. Cost savings is always a huge one within the public sector. I mean, a lot of our customers, whether they be you know, a general practice, a primary, secondary school, you know, a borough council, need to save money, need to save costs. And I think I expressed that in the questions that you recorded around reducing overheads, increasing productivity and efficiency. So that's everything that we can deliver, as we talked about. And customer experience is a huge focus for local government. And again, the technology helps us deliver that customer experience as well. So there is so much we can do. There's so much we can do to help from costs perspective, reducing overheads, improving productivity, and that goes for a local government. Like we've got, as I say, central government customers, schools, GPs. The list is endless. You know, I could talk all day. I really could. We've even got some cathedrals. We've got Lincoln Cathedral, Leeds Diocese, Sheffield Diocese. So we're even making some impact into a lot of religious elements as well. Manchester NHS Shared Services is a great story. We helped put a COVID line in place for Manchester NHS Shared Services, and the great thing was they come to us and said, look, we need it now. We need it like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. When we did it, it can be deployed really quickly, this technology. That's the great thing.
Absolutely. I mean, they're great. Thank you so much. I think they're great answers. I'm just looking. I don't think we have any more questions. So I think that brings us quite nicely into sort of the end of time. And just wanted to say thank you very much for participating, Scott. And maybe just one thing I was just going to say, you know, was there anything you wanted? And obviously we talked about MFON and the kind of solutions, but anything else you wanted to add about MFON and obviously where we can find you?
Well, you know, as a partner, you know, Adapto have got great support, and you know, hopefully some people on the webinar have got some more questions at some stage. So please, you know, Louise, Ivan, come give me a call if you need any support from us. More than happy to help. As an organisation, I mean, MFON are growing massively over the you know, over the course of the last 10 years. we were only initiated in 2007, which is in real terms quite a young company. The UK entity of MFON has been running since 2013. We've got something like 524,000 users on our platform now across Europe. So, you know, we are growing really well in the as an organization. We're very financially stable. We launched on the stock exchange in 2018, so we've had lots of investment into the organization. We own the platform as well, so it's our own platform to continue to invest into. You know, I think we're a lovely, I would say, I'm sure, but I think we are a lovely organization, that we're not too big, that we don't, you know, we can't be you know, a good solution to an organization of a small size. Like I said, we've got some really small charities that we work with, and hopefully, you know, that's we can support you and your customers.
I just have one question here, actually, from Felix Clark-Wills, that just popped up. So he's just asking, are you global? And he's just referencing APAC and US.
Hi Felix, thank you for that question, and it is a really relevant question. Actually, we're not global, we're pan-European. We are the biggest cloud telephony provider across Europe. We've got offices in 16 locations across Europe. Our strategy is to stay European. We aren't planning to go into APAC or into the States, for example. We do have some customers in APAC, and the platform can deliver a solution into a service into APAC, but we don't have a presence there. But we can deliver a solution if you have an office there. We do have a couple of organizations that have got offices in India, for example, but we are focused to grow our European presence. And I hope that answers your question. It's a really good question. Thank you. Great.
Well, I think it probably does. Oh, okay. So let's just have a quick. Okay, so he's talking, because they're a large corporate B2B organization. It's just clarifying. Okay, well, maybe we might take that offline. But yes, so I'll wrap things up now. Just wanted to say, finally, thank you everybody for taking the time to watch this morning. Really appreciate it. I know that time is precious, and so really appreciate your presence here this morning, and I hope that you found it useful. There will be a recording available, and we'll be letting you know about that in due course. Should you have any questions that you would like to direct our way, then you can come and visit us at www.adapto.co.uk, or you can email on our sales email address, which is sales@adapto.co.uk. Thank you very much, and thank you once again, Scott, and speak to you all soon, hopefully.
Thanks,
Have
Louise.
a good day.
It's a pleasure. Take care. Nice to see you all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.